Ladies and gentlemen, across America and around the globe, welcome to the AGN TCL Streaming News Network, home of America's good news to the world. Go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever in the world you happen to be. I'm Austin Miles. Angelia's out for a couple of weeks, and the kids got out of school, so I don't know where they are at this moment. So I'm here alone. Well, actually, not alone. I still have Tim here, and I think that's great. Starting with the news, I almost choked over my lunch this week when I got this letter in the mail, and on the front it says, prepaid cremation. Prepaid cremation is being offered to me. I think I'll pass that one by. I'm not quite ready for it yet. And then our Times newspaper in this area had a notice in Brentwood they're having a senior luau coming up. And it says older adults are invited to a Hawaiian luau dinner dance hosted by Brentwood Seniors Club. Actually, we had one of that one time for my seniors Bible class at the church. And everything went well except we forgot where we buried the pig. And after digging up several yards along the way, we were persuaded to go out to lunch at Kelbel's, which we did. And here's something, too, in the news that's kind of interesting. It has a thing in our local papers talking about renting a friend. Do you realize people are so lonely they actually rent a friend to go with them to a ball game or to a movie or go on a hike or something like that? And they charge $20 to $30 an hour for that. Wow. Tim, are you still my friend? Good. Okay, I won't have to go rent one. That's good. Well, think of this. The chief of police gives himself a ticket. That's right. That was in Metro Atlanta. Chief Gene Wilson found himself parked in a handicapped parking zone when he stopped in a restaurant. He claims the bar on his window prevented him from seeing the sign. When he came out, he was just absolutely exasperated to find out that here's a police car in the handicapped parking zone. So he went and had another cop write him out a ticket, and he paid a $285 fine for that discretion. Now, in Breaking Christian News, they broke this one. You remember when I told you the story about the performer Andre Bocelli, and he told the story about the abortion? Well, that has gotten a storm all over the world. Very tremendous comments from everywhere. And it says the Italian performer Andre Bocelli was not expecting the kind of response he received when asked to share some encouragement. He paused during a concert to tell of his mother's choice to give him life instead of following a doctor's advice to abort, since the doctor informed her that he would be handicapped. As you know, he's blind. When asked to give a word of hope for mothers with difficulties, he told the story of his own birth. He said he was not prepared for all this fuss and delayed explosion. Because of my personal convictions as a devout Catholic, I'm not only fighting against something, I am fighting for life, he said. Now, this item just came in the news about a study of chimpanzees. And the headline, chimps will kill to gain territory. And then the subheadline says, behavior may provide clues about human warfare, scientists say. And according to this item, they're trying to really, of course, enforce the evolutionary idea. It says that chimp behavior could shed light on the evolutionary roots of human cooperation, the researchers said in a study published online Monday in the journal Current Biology. Others experts couldn't help it, said it explains the origins of human warfare. Well, I've got news for them. First of all, they may have shed some light on the evolutionary route, but it's also shed light on the stupidity of these researchers that would try to explain this origins as coming from chimpanzees. And you know what? A species cannot evolve into another species, period. There's no second thought, and it's not stupidity. The whole evolution idea is exploited to try and convince people that they just happened by accident. We have not worth or purpose, and that there is no God. So they know exactly what they're doing and trying to accomplish. They do not want any moral codes which they think will restrict their sinning. It's very, very simple. Well, I got news for them. God is real. And there is expanding evidence to prove that he created the earth out of nothing. I have something very startling to tell you about. This story was written by a doctor who sent this to a few close people. And he said that a couple of days ago, he said, I was watching a DVD sermon by Louis Giglio who's a minister, of course, and I was blown away, he writes. I want to share you what I learned. He, Louis, the pastor, was talking about how inconceivably big our God is, how he spoke the universe into being, how he breathed stars out of his mouth that are huge, raging balls of fire, etc., etc. Then he went on to speak of how this star-breathing, universe-creating God also knitted our human bodies together with amazing detail and wonder. At this point, he said, I'm loving it. Now, he said, this is fascinating from a medical standpoint. He said, and I was remembering how I was constantly amazed during medical school as I learned more and more about God's handiwork. I remember so many times thinking, how can anyone deny that a creator did all of this? Now, this is a medical doctor that is speaking. Louis, the pastor, went on to talk about how we can trust that the God who created all this also has the power to hold it all together when things seem to be falling apart. How our loving creator is also our sustainer. And then he said, I lost my breath, because he started talking about laminin. I knew about laminin. Here is how Wikipedia describes them. Laminins are a family of proteins that are an integral part of the structural scaffolding of basement membranes in almost every animal tissue. You see, laminins are what hold us together. Literally, they are called cell adhesion molecules. They are what holds one cell of our bodies to the next cell. Without them, we would literally fall apart. And I know all this already, but what I didn't know is what they looked like. But now I do. And I've thought about it 1,000 times. And here's what the structure of laminin looks like, and this is not a Christian portrayal of it. If you look up laminin in any scientific medical piece of literature, this is what you will see. Again, this is not from a Christian literature. This is from medical encyclopedias of what the laminin, the structure of our DNA looks like. And here it is. Forms a perfect cross. Couldn't be more accurate, because God is the creator of the universe, everything that is in it. So I hope those professors who made this bogus report about the chimpanzees we evolved from then will take a look at this. This is extraordinary. I'm Austin Miles. May all your prayers be answered. God bless all of you. Good night.